Hello, Simser. This is my feedback to your evidence paragraph from last week. That was the first evidence paragraph, and I realized that you didn't have a model to work with, so this is all very kind of preliminary and rough, no problem. Hopefully this small group tutorial today was able to clarify some of the things you need to do, and I have the feeling that you're in a good place right now. But so let's see about this particular paragraph. Okay, so the speaker claims that some financial field internship requirements ignore different types of people. Okay, and these requirements are not based on the ability to prove this. Okay, fine. So obviously, all of this is going to go to to your identification paragraph. Without this, I will evaluate. You do not need any of this, right? So this is very good information, and you will put it on the day of the exam. You will actually put it in the separate paragraph, which is in the identification paragraph. Okay, so you've identified the supporting idea and also what he uses, the Oracle email and the code, the civil code. There's a section that he cites. Okay, good. Now, first, I think the evidence is not sufficient. Okay, although the speaker also mentions platforms that provide internship opportunities such as Facebook, Google, he does not talk about the specific application requirements for these. Sure, yeah. There are many technology-related companies in the world, sure, and it may not be enough to prove his point of view with only a few of them. Actually, that's very good. Yeah, I think so. This is a very good way of putting it. So the evidence is simply not sufficient. It's a very large point. Exactly, you're right. You don't have to talk about the world, but he's talking about the US. And okay, America is a very big country. There's lots and lots of technology related. Here you would just say opportunities or programs or internships, however you want to do it. And here I would say in America, in the US, right? Not in the world. But your point is very good. He's making a really general claim, and the evidence he's using is just one single or just 2 or 3 pieces of evidence. That's clearly not enough. So let's say rephrase this to focus it more. Okay, good. Second, his evidence is relevant. Okay. Why is it relevant? Because the internship requirements clearly say that they can recruit only women of certain races. It's not women of certain races, it's women or certain minority groups. Because they were saying black, Hispanic, or whatever, or women. Women could be of any race. Because they are in themselves a minority. And I also think that this is discrimination against. Now here, we don't need this comment, what you think this is, just what the speaker thinks it is. Okay, so this is just kind of like this type of personal sort of I think this personal commentary is not necessary. It's not needed here. Now if you say I think the evidence is blah blah, that's fine, but you're making actually a commentary of what the issue is, of the discrimination itself. And so that's kind of an analyzing the video itself, but really we're analyzing the speaker's use of evidence, right? So you're saying it is relevant because clearly we're shown an email clearly asking for recruits from specific minorities. Okay, I think I can take that. There is a way to prove that it's not exactly entirely relevant, but that would make you go into very deep waters, and I'm afraid that 200 words is just not enough for that. Usually when the answer for relevance is no, you would have to kind of you have to dig very deep, and I think that's exciting, but there's just no space here to prove that the Oracle and the Code of Ethics are simply just not relevant or not relevant enough. I think what you can do here is, yeah, it'll just take too many words. will bump up the word count to a lot more than 200. Finally, I think the evidence may not be representative. Okay, you're hedging it here. Okay, fine. Or you can just say is not entirely representative. This internship requirement may have been deliberately found by others. Sure, absolutely. In addition, there may be other more typical. Very good. So again, as you're saying here, is that a typical average job advertisement? We don't know. The speaker doesn't prove that it is. He just picks an isolated case, and who knows if that's the typical representative or average advertisement for an internship. Okay, so very good. This is, I think, I'm not sure how many words this is, just the evaluation. So if you start from here, I don't know how many words that would be, but it looks to me like you could spend a little bit more with some of the, so for instance, with evidence, with sufficiency, sorry, you could just add, it's usually a good idea. If you say that it's not sufficient, you could add something like the speaker could have included, and then list, surveys or studies or meta-analysis or concrete data showing, for example, the percentage of companies that do attract minorities specifically, so you could include a statement about what the speaker could have included but didn't. That's a good sentence to include in sufficiency. As far as relevance, we said it'll take you many words to really dig deep into it, but if you can, you may have a bit of space here. And I think the representativeness is good. So overall, you didn't even have a model, and yet you did a very good job. So excellent. Next week there is another model coming up about the video about immigration, the one that we talked about today in the small group tutorial. So study that model, and that should also help you. And I think you're in very, very good shape right now, from what I can see. As always, typical of you, very good work. Good, Samser.